Scabby Podcast.
In an ancient hotel in room 142 lay two foolhardy fools with nothing to do. They sit and they ponder about movies they've seen while trapped in their room and stare at their TV screen. Sometimes they play songs on the instruments they've amassed. The Pinj and the Maggie on the Scabby Hayze Podcast.
Welcome to the Scabby Hayze Podcast. This is your co-host Maggie.
And this is your co-host Pinj.
And today we are talking about a little bit of everything. We're going to talk about some movies because last week you probably noticed, or
Maybe didn't.
probably didn't notice, but last week we didn't upload because we were going to do a movie review on Nacho Libre and we started it and it was really bad and we didn't feel like it was good enough to post anywhere, so we just didn't upload.
Yeah.
So we figured if we talk a little bit about everything, we will eventually have enough content to fill up an episode this week. So that's what we decided to do, and that's what we're going to do, and that's the plan.
So we're not really going to talk about one specific movie, more of movies in general, or just the genre things we want to talk about. Don't expect this to be too cohesive, per se.
Okay, since we brought it up, since we were supposed to talk about it last week, let's talk a little bit about Nacho Libre.
Alright, I think that's fair.
It's about a monk.
Yeah, it's about a monk.
In a monastery at an orphanage. No, just kidding, not a monastery. Is it a monastery? Is it a monastery if it's at an orphanage? Or
I
is
don't
it just
know.
an orphanage with monks in it?
It might be both. It's hard to say.
Okay, I think...
Either way.
I don't know. I should probably look up definition of monastery. I thought that a monastery was a house for monks.
I think it is.
I don't know, but maybe it's for like monks that are...
Wouldn't that be a monkastery, though?
So anyway, it's about a monk at an orphanage that wants to be a fighter, and eventually he does become a fighter,
And
he helps out the orphanage, and it's a win-win for everybody. But it's a comedy, and it's starring Jack Black, and it's very random. It was made by the same people who made Napoleon Dynamite. The characters are very interesting, it's very colorful, it has good music, blah blah blah. It is funny, but sometimes it goes a little bit overboard. And sometimes it dwells too long on a joke. That is that. Moving on, Nacho Libre.
There you go.
I ruined it.
Right at the end.
Nacho Libre.
Libre.
No. Moving on. Next movie. Godzilla.
Oh, let's not talk about Godzilla.
Did we talk about Godzilla?
Wait, which Godzilla?
The new one?
Oh, King of the Monsters?
No.
The 2014 one.
First new one.
Okay.
Yes.
I actually kind of like that film.
Okay, so no opinions on Nacho Libre.
Oh. I mean, I have opinions, but...
Well, we don't want to go into too much detail.
Yeah.
Just say if you liked it or not.
Yeah, I liked it. I really had a good time with it. It's stupid, but you have to accept that and just kind of roll with it and just accept if it gets a little too overboard. Yeah, maybe it's not exactly for you, but I think the majority of it is extremely fun and a fun little ride. It's nothing harsh.
If you wanted to describe the humor and let somebody know what kind of humor it is before they watch it, if you know anything about Napoleon Dynamite, like I said, it was made by those people, so it kind of has the same humor, the very sporadic,
Random,
kind of stupid humor.
Yeah.
Really. So, and characters that you laugh at.
Yeah, and that's not bad,
No.
per se.
No.
It's done intentionally. It's not a movie that you laugh at. It's a movie you laugh with.
Right. And I will say that some of the jokes are really good. It's fun to think back on.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
Which is weird. Not even more so than watching the movie. I feel like I have more fun thinking back about it and quoting it and talking about it than I did actually watching it. Which is kind of strange. It's rare that way, but it was pretty good. Although I wouldn't say necessarily that I loved it.
I don't think I particularly loved it, but
Although
I had a good time with it.
I will say, if you like Jack Black, then you'll probably definitely love this movie. I do like Jack Black, but I like him in... I don't know. I haven't watched enough of his movies to say that, I love, like, all the characters that he is.
He's got that personality that is more where the movies are less so about the character as it is
Jack Black.
Jack Black.
You hire Jack Black to be Jack Black,
Yeah.
not the character that you created and already have, like, a personality in mind that you want him to be. Yeah. True, accurate, okay.
Yeah, that was Nacho Libre.
Yep. So we watched that recently. What else have we seen recently?
You and I together, not much. I watched Warrior not that long ago.
Oh, yeah.
That was a movie I really enjoyed.
You recommended
Had a good time
it to
with
me.
I don't know about a second time watch anytime soon, unless we do an episode on it.
Ooh.
But first time watch, yeah, it's pretty great. If you don't know too much about it, I recommend it.
We watched Ford v Ferrari.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, a long while back.
It wasn't that recent. It was quite a while ago. Now, kind of what you said about Warrior, I don't know, I haven't seen Warrior yet. But,
Ford v Ferrari.
Ford v Ferrari...
Came out last year.
Yes.
In the summer, I think.
I believe
Matt Damon,
so.
Christian Bale.
It's about the 24-hour race in France, the Le Mans.
Mm-hmm.
And...
Ken Miles
Ken...
and Carroll Shelby are building a race car to be able to defeat...
By Ford.
By Ford, yes. They're making a car for Ford to defeat Ferrari.
Just because they want to.
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically. They're like, oh, Ford's kind of boring. Like, nobody wants to buy a Ford because it's just like a family car. And it's like nothing special. We want to build a race car and make a name for ourselves and win. And they do.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. And actually, I didn't know anything about it. I'm not big into car racing. I don't know anything about NASCAR or anything like that. But this was interesting to me. And I thought it was, since I didn't know anything about it, it was interesting to learn about. But it was a good story. So I was kind of glad that I learned about the story.
Yeah.
And it was a pretty good movie. It was interesting, good acting. Cinematography was excellent.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful film.
Dialogue was excellent. I think I would recommend it to pretty much anybody. But it isn't a movie. It is serious. It's not...
There's a few jokes in there every once in a while.
But just like real life jokes. It's not a comedy or joke after joke. It's when it's fitting and when it's appropriate, then there'll be a joke.
It's lighthearted enough. There's a few scenes that they're a little out of place or they just seem strange. There's something that doesn't quite click there. They seem to like drag on a bit. But for the most part, it's a really good film. It's one of those where even though you don't think you care because the characters care.
Yeah.
For like racing, because you and I, like, there's no passion behind that or care. But the characters, we like immensely care. Like,
right, they're super passionate about it.
There's this whole problem about Ford that these two characters are struggling with because they can't have control over the race car that they want to build. There's like regulations, there's a lot of problems. It's
not just two guys building a race car. They're building it. They're basically hired by Ford to create this race car. So they have to make it how Ford wants it.
Mm-hmm. But they don't want to do that. They want to defeat Ferrari, and they know exactly how. But, sometimes Ford gets in the way. So they're very passionate about this.
And when somebody is passionate about something, it makes you care about it. Even if you don't share the same passion, it makes you interested because they're so excited. You're like, what? What are you so excited about? Like, tell me. Yeah. That's basically how, at least I am that way. You feed off of people's passion, and it makes it interesting. Anyway, not a movie you would want to watch, numerous times within... It's not like a movie you fall back on. Like, it wouldn't be your favorite movie, but it's definitely interesting, and it makes it even more cool to know that it's real that it actually happened.
Yeah. I could see myself rewatching this maybe in a couple years.
Yeah.
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 It's not like one of those where you like immediately rewatch, even though I kind of
Right.
did with you. You and I told you about this film. I was like, yeah, you should watch it.
Yeah.
Then you and I sat down and watched it.
Were you surprised that I liked it?
I was. I really wasn't too sure. Just because I knew of a few scenes that might make it or break it for you.
Really? Which ones?
There's that one scene with the
fart?
wife. What?
The fart?
The fart. No, that would definitely make it, I guess. No, there's one scene with the wife that I found, like, it just felt odd. She's arguing with Ken Miles. It's Ken Miles' wife, and they're arguing in the car.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it felt really out of place and just kind of trying to stretch the length of the movie.
Yeah, that's true. That was a weird scene.
Yeah.
It didn't ruin it, though.
No, certainly not. But it was one when I watched it, I was like,
But sometimes a scene can break a movie. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And especially also what can break a movie is characters. Like even like minor characters. I'm talking about minor characters. They can if there is a minor character in there that is absolutely horrendous or boring or obnoxious, it can ruin the whole movie.
This is something that affects you probably more than me. Like, you're really sensitive to minor characters.
Yeah.
Like, one of your favorite movies, for some reason, this doesn't make any sense to me, but Captain America: The First Avenger, you always point out, like, the side characters.
Huh?
Yeah.
In Captain America?
Yeah, the first Captain America. A lot of side characters, they just,
Who?
like, irritate you.
Oh, yes.
But for some reason, you still equate that movie to, like, one of your favorites. I find interesting.
That is kind of weird.
It is strange.
Well, I think I like the whole idea of Captain America.
Oh.
And maybe that's why I like the movie, is because he's patriotic, and I like patriotism. I think I'm a patriot, and I like my country, and I think World War II is a very interesting subject in history, and that the war fascinates me. Of course, it's not accurate in Captain America, but it's based on, in those times, and it's supposed to be during World War II. And I think it's a cool mixture of, like, this guy who's a superhero that's all about America during World War II. I don't know. Captain America is... I wouldn't consider it my favorite movie, but I just like it because I like the idea of it. Yeah,
Okay.
so it's not like I think it's hilarious or anything like that. I don't
Such
know.
a great action movie.
Yeah, or it's like beautifully shot or anything like that.
Okay.
It's not really any one thing. It's just I like the idea of it.
It's a popcorn film for you then.
I don't know what that is.
Essentially a film... Okay. The equivalent of, like, a summer blockbuster film. On the equivalent... You're not gonna like this, but Jaws is normally, like, what people equate to as a summer blockbuster. You grab a thing of popcorn and you just enjoy it. You don't have to think too hard. You don't have to
True.
figure out what's going on. It just kind of tells a story. It's very simple. It's very flowing. You just kind of go, you're eating your popcorn,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, well, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that about it. I don't know if I would consider Jaws that, but I guess, you don't have to think too hard about it. But that's kind of what I like about it. It's not trying to, get you or like, oh, plot twist or anything like that. But I also like plot twists. I'm just saying it's a different kind of movie that I like. It's just a story, and that's what I like about it.
It's very simple.
Yes. Which is cool.
With the whole crazy thing that's going on in the world, the coronavirus, a lot of theaters have closed down temporarily, and studios have brought a few select movies onto video on demand. So Amazon, I think, is the largest one, and the price is $20.
Expensive.
It is expensive, though I do understand why. When you think about, you're paying for your own experience, you're going to be at home, you're not going to be bothered, probably. when watching it.
Yeah, but
So think about this. You could either be one person paying $20, and that's kind of a lot, or you could be like a family of 7 or something and only pay $20, which is way cheaper than buying, 8 tickets or whatever.
interesting. But I think I like the experience of going to a theater.
Yeah. I know
don't-
a lot of people don't. Interruptions and such because other people don't care, which is annoying.
That is annoying.
But Jinx.
But I mean, that's how it is with every public place, with every
Yeah,
place that you go to.
You just
then
have
you're gonna
to deal
have
with
that.
irritations.
Yeah, other people
Yeah.
that do annoying things, or they
Yeah.
they have no consideration for other people, so they're on their phones or they're talking during a.
And sometimes it's
Intense
hard to
scene.
tolerate that, and
And sometimes it does ruin the movie experience. But I think it's fun to go to the theater because it smells good.
yeah, the smell is a big part
It
of
smells
it.
like popcorn, and also like seeing it on the big screen, you can see more details. And with the surround sound that they have in the rooms, there's also added sound effects that you wouldn't normally hear on if you have bad speakers at home or things like that.
It's a larger experience. It's how the movie was meant to be seen,
right,
pretty much.
right.
And some movies, it really heavily relies on that. I think of 1917. We watched that in theaters. That's a movie that...
That was I was glad that I
Yeah.
saw that in theater.
Yeah, that's a movie that was meant to be seen in theater.
Yeah.
You look at... I'm trying to think of a film. Spider-Man: Homecoming. It's not a movie that you need to see at the theaters.
Yeah. Same with Knives Out, I think.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a theater watch, though I'm sure it was pretty nice, audio-wise. But yeah, it's a little concerning because I don't necessarily want to see the theaters die.
Do you think they're going to?
I don't really. Not at this
I don't
point.
think so either. I think people just want things to go back to normal.
Yes.
And as soon as they can, they will.
What will most likely happen is if it does die, it'll take like a year or so. This is obviously the testing grounds right now.
Well, yeah.
So like
and lots of people are saying that there will be no such thing as normal anymore. Like this is going to be from here on out, it's going to be the normal. Is people wearing masks, there being plastic guards everywhere, social distancing. I don't know. I question that. I can't say though. I'm not a professional, and I haven't looked enough at the numbers or anything to make a guesstimate on anything. So, but all I can go by is my gut feeling.
Yeah.
And I
don't see that happening.
Not really.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to say right now because we're still living it. So, it's hard to say. Who knows?
Yeah.
Maybe many, many, many things will change, and we'll look back and say, "Wow, we used to do it this way."
Yeah.
Or then COVID changed everything.
And with movies, I don't think it'll die immediately. If it will die, it'll take like a year or so. With Trolls World Tour was the first big theatrical in-home release. That's kind of a weird one, but it makes sense.
How much money did it make?
I have no clue. I have not checked the numbers.
Okay.
It made $60,000 opening weekend, but that's in drive-in theaters.
What? We're at the drive-in theaters.
I don't know.
Why don't we have any around here?
I have no clue,
Wait,
but
we
I
do
definitely want one.
Don't we have a drive-in theater?
We have an abandoned one.
Yeah, I know that.
I don't know.
There's one somewhere nearby. I don't know. I wish we had one closer though.
Yeah. I think they're holding the numbers back. If it looks really good, then obviously they'll broadcast it and say, this is the new way. But I haven't heard anything like that, so
yeah.
They're holding back so far. So maybe it did poorly. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I don't think they'll die. It might weaken it a little bit just because now they actually are testing it. shoving movies onto Amazon and such. It's weird. Really weird.
It is weird. It's
And
weird times right now.
I heard somebody say that the Oscars, they're only going to be able to nominate like 4 people.
Really?
There's barely any movies coming out right now.
Oh, yeah.
So like they're all pushed back to like late in the year or next year.
Right.
Like Black Widow comes out in November or something now.
Yeah.
Mulan, I don't even know if it has a release date yet. A bunch of movies. Tenet has not been changed yet. The Green Knight hasn't been changed yet.
What's The Green Knight?
The Green Knight is a film that we're probably gonna go watch. Don't remember the director's name, but it's the same guy who did A Ghost Story. You wouldn't like A Ghost Story, but I think there is a lot that you would like. Does that make sense?
Yes, but you haven't seen The Green Knight, so how do you know I would like it? What's it about?
It's King Arthur and the knights.
Oh.
All that jazz. But I think it's one specific knight that they're focusing on.
I'm not big into, like, medieval stuff.
I know. I mean, obviously, I'll do a little bit more research before we go see it, but I am really looking forward to this because I liked Ghost Story. It's a really different film. And looking at the trailer for The Green Knight, I think this is a little bit more up your alley than A Ghost Story would be. But I really do want to see it just because it's the same director. I'm pretty sure he's writing it as well.
Okay. Okay.
So it's like his movie. Yeah, and I want to see what his project was.
I am all for original stories.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't give me any remakes. I don't know. It's different when it's based off a book because I don't read a lot. So most of the movies that are based off of books are new to me.
Yeah,
So,
that's completely fair.
but when you can come up with something like that's what I do. Like, I didn't care for everything about Knives Out, but I do applaud it for being original. It's not a story that's been done so many times. It's like, oh, this again.
Yeah.
At least it's original, and they're original characters. It's, most everything about it hasn't been done already 1,000 million times.
Yeah, what has been done before is used to raise up the stakes and the originality in Knives Out.
Right.
By toying with the genre, the cliches and
Right.
such.
And I gotta be honest, that's what I'm starting to dislike about the Marvel movies. They're all becoming the same.
Yep.
So we should probably tell the Scabbies that we've been watching the Marvel movies in chronological order since, when did we start this?
I don't know, forever ago.
We watched, what was it?
Captain America first.
Captain America.
Probably back in February or something.
And honestly, they're all starting to run together now.
Yeah.
We just finished Ragnarok.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, a couple days ago. And now we have...
I have like 4 left or something.
We have Black Panther coming up. And it's like...
It's a lot.
Now we're kind of just starting to watch them out of necessity. It's like, oh, well, this is the next one. I guess we have to watch it.
yeah.
Not that I hate Marvel. I really liked them when they were good.
I still like them, but yeah,
I like them just a little less.
in rewatching them, I'm really starting to notice rewatchability in a movie. I think of Inception. Inception's a really great movie, and I do like rewatching it, but I don't rewatch it all the time. I watch it maybe like once a year, and that's it.
Yeah.
And not even that sometimes.
Probably less than that.
Yeah, probably like once every other year. It's still a great movie, but it's not designed to be rewatched constantly, and we've done that maybe a bit too much with the Marvel films.
Probably.
And it's definitely hurt them.
Yeah.
It's also really tough because it's the same structure.
Yeah.
The exact same structure.
Yeah, true. It's like about the superhero, and they're doing good, and then they get cocky, and then they
they fall.
Yeah, and then they have this long, like, if there's a sad scene, and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, and, like, then they apologize or whatever they have to do to make it right, and then they're all humble, and then they defeat the bad guy.
And they have
to
defeat this bad guy, and
yeah.
he's normally pretty generic, and it's annoying, yeah. Looking at you, Ant-Man.
Yeah. And they defeat him, and then it's the end, and then they're an Avenger.
Yep, and that rinse and repeat.
Pretty much. Well, it's... I mean, they're not bad. They're just starting to get... And the new ones now are getting a little...
They're
like
really
Captain Marvel.
Disney-fied. A lot of, look at me, I'm so cool, I'm standing out. Yeah, here we go. And it only works in very specific ways.
Their Disney is showing.
Yeah. Yeah, their Disney is showing.
I'm not a Disney fan.
Yeah, me neither, to an extent. There's a few of them that I like. Sometimes they'll throw one out. It's like, oh, this is actually a good film.
Yeah.
But the majority is okay. We've seen this before, guys.
We've seen this in all the other movies.
But yeah, it's a downward slope. It feels, which is kind of sad because, you know, I do like the characters. I like some of the films.
Yeah.
And I would like to see it continue on to be something great. I just want something fresh from Marvel. That's all I ask for. And I'm really hoping with the TV shows coming up that it's surprisingly that's what I'm looking forward to.
I would not put too much stock in that.
Hear me out. Look at The Mandalorian. Were you expecting The Mandalorian to be as good as it was?
Here's the thing about The Mandalorian. I liked it, but it's very Star Wars.
Yes.
And yes, I did expect it to be very Star Wars.
But it does it in a very enjoyable way. It's not shoving it in your face. It's not the same old Star Wars. There's a lot of new Star Wars in there.
They shoved Baby Yoda in your face.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Hard.
Absolutely.
Pretty hard.
Yeah, they were putting big money on it.
After a while. It's like...
it's going to be way worse in Season 2. You know that. Because it was
I just don't know how much more of it I can take. Because now, after I was into the show and I liked it, and now after all the memes and everybody's like, Baby Yoda is the cutest thing ever, now I'm kind of like, I hate it so much.
Yeah. Yeah, after hearing it so many times, it's just like,
weird?
Oh, shut up.
Now, when people talk about a subject for so long, and after a while, you kind of hate it.
Yeah.
They just run it into the ground.
I'm sure there's some terminology for that.
Oh, I don't know, but it's a concept that is accurate.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Yeah.
But I look at The Mandalorian, it's something fresh from the Star Wars universe. It's something different.
Yeah,
it is
different, yeah. I wish that Taika Waititi had directed all the episodes, though.
It would have been so different.
The episode that he directed was the best.
Yeah. But looking at Star Wars, maybe they'll do something similar to that. Just give us something new.
Whatever that last movie of the saga that we watched, that thing was the pits.
That
it was so bad.
That was one of the best comedies of 2019 I saw.
That was a big joke.
Should we talk about Star Wars real quick?
Do we have to?
People may hate us for this, but we watched the original 6 years ago. Maybe not years and years ago, but a while back.
It was a while ago.
Yeah.
Like 6 years ago.
Yeah, 6 years ago, and didn't like them. Yeah.
Nope. The 4, 5, and 6 were... They definitely... I don't know. They weren't what I expected at all. I was like, people like this? That's what I kept on wondering.
It was really confusing.
But for some odd reason, we just kept watching them.
Yeah, we never stopped.
as we are
Prone to do, evidently.
we are prone to do that, which is kind of weird. I don't know.
We'll sit through this garbage.
Like, yeah, we sat through Batman and Robin. We can do it. We watched Fantastic Four. We're idiots.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we watched 4, 5, and 6. Then we watched 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3 were worse than 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah. Bad all the way around.
And then we
much.
watched Force Awakens.
We watched Force Awakens because it was such a huge deal, and frankly, we just didn't want to be out on it for some reason. We were just like, okay, it's a huge phenomenon. Let's be a part of this. I guess.
Yeah. We thought it would break like so many records, and it kind of did.
It's like number 10 or something on like
it's up
highest
there.
grossing films.
Yeah, we were like, oh, we should go watch it. And so we did,
and it was good.
It was fun to watch in theater.
I really liked it.
It was like a one-time watch.
I wouldn't say that. I think it's a little better than just a one-time watch.
Maybe,
I'll probably watch it again, maybe in the near future.
Okay.
Just because I've kind of had it itching for that, just to go back to the time of, oh, I remember like liking these characters and being like, oh, I actually look forward to seeing what's going to happen next. And that was the big crux on The Force Awakens. It was like, okay, what's going to happen next? Because obviously it was the first part of, so many movies.
And then Last Jedi happened.
Last Jedi happened.
And they didn't explain anything and nothing happened.
For some reason, we liked it when we watched it in theater.
Yeah, I don't know why.
And then we watched it again and said, this is garbage.
It was horrendous.
Yeah. I do think there's a lot of... not a lot, but I think there is good in The Last Jedi.
I don't know.
And that makes it harder to watch, because you watch one scene and you're like, oh, wait, here, this is actually a movie. Can I... Oh, there it goes.
Runs away.
Yep. And it's like,
Come back.
Yeah, it runs away and you're just, no. It's close to being good, but it's just not.
Yeah, it's really bad, actually.
And then...
And the characters are absolutely hateable.
Yeah, they ruined
They're despicable.
pretty much everyone. Yeah,
They're
and then...
so bad. And they ruined anything you liked about the old characters.
And then along came The Rise of Skywalker.
But first, Rogue
Are
One.
we gonna talk about Rogue One?
Rogue One.
I want to talk about Rogue One.
Well, we have to say that there was at least one good Star Wars movie, and it was Rogue One. Rogue One is actually a film that is good to rewatch. Actually is a good standalone film. If it wasn't for all the other ones, and you didn't know anything about Star Wars, you'd be like, yeah, this is a good movie.
But it is.
Well,
it wouldn't make any sense because they focus way too much on.
Never mind.
Previous
I guess
Star Wars
you
stuff.
you do have to know something about the old ones, but
there is some good in it. Definitely some good stuff.
What, in Rogue One? It's a great movie. Yeah, it's so good.
It's
all the
good.
characters die. Oh, spoiler alert. Just kidding. Probably shouldn't add that. I wouldn't keep that in if I were you.
I would keep it in because I'm
Really?
pretty sure most everyone has seen Rogue One.
Alright, everybody dies.
Everyone knows.
It's a good
At
movie.
least, yeah. I think there's a bit too much Star Wars in it. But there is a lot. There's some pretty good stuff in there.
Definitely less than all the other ones. Less than Force Awakens.
Okay, maybe it has less, but it really focuses on, hey, this is Star Wars. Hey, look it. Do you remember this? Hey, look it. Hey, TIE fighters. Hey. it's just like trying to grab your attention with the Star Wars instead of saying, hey, this is a movie. Just sit back and relax and enjoy this story. Instead, they're trying to this is Star Wars, and they're like shaking you and like trying to shove it into your face.
It's the equivalent to Wonder Woman being in the 80s.
Yeah.
They're like, it's 80s.
Yeah.
And look, everyone has like a crazy hairstyle. Everyone has bright colored windbreakers. Everybody is. It's like, shut up.
I will say we haven't seen Wonder Woman 84, obviously. But literally the opening, and
it's the trailer.
The trailer literally opens up saying, it's the 80s. And like, no, stop that. Let me just watch a film without trying to shove something
They have
else
to
into
put
my
all
face.
the memorabilia in it, and it tries to make it nostalgic for people who are they're like, oh, I remember that when I was a kid. Like, I was alive in the 80s. Oh, kids nowadays wouldn't understand. For some reason, people get a big kick out of that.
It's a memory trip.
It's
saying, hey,
that's not good incentive to make a movie. Just in case
Yeah.
any of you movie makers are listening to this. That's not a good incentive. Don't use that as your purpose for creating a film.
It works in some areas, but very light, and has to be appropriate.
It can't be throughout the entire
Yeah.
film. It just gets obnoxious. I mean, and it's that way with any subject. If you were to do that with any subject,
Yeah.
it would get annoying.
It's trying to make a movie a memory trip instead of making the movie just a movie.
See, I didn't see that with Rogue One.
I saw it, in my opinion.
Maybe if I watched
felt
it again after knowing, or after you mentioned it, then I would be able to pick it out, but so thanks for ruining it for me.
Sorry. Deal with it, but okay.
Anyway, I guess we have to talk about The Rise of Skywalker too.
Anyways, yeah, we watched Rogue One, and then it was Last Jedi. Last Jedi kind of ruined the moment and the feeling, and it was like, oh, this is Star Wars again.
Yeah, and then Rise of Skywalker came out, and we were like, oh, well, maybe it redeemed itself, because the trailer looked pretty good.
What, Rise of Skywalker?
No, just kidding. The trailer didn't look good, but the trailer looked like it was going to try to fix everything that Last Jedi, like, destroyed. And then they came out with they fly now, and then it just went and it
Everything
dove
went
into the ground.
No,
We watched it because we knew it would be terrible. Because
we watched it to have a good time.
We were in too far to back out.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Because we had seen all the most recent ones in theater, and so we kind of felt
except for Han Solo,
like
we didn't see that.
To.
Obviously.
But quite honestly, we had to beg our sister to come watch it. I had to pay for her ticket.
Yeah.
Because she wouldn't spend money on it.
Yeah.
And thought it looked terrible. And
but it was fun. It was really fun.
It was funny. Yes.
It wasn't a good movie, but it was fun.
It was
really
bad.
fun.
Yeah. They ruined everything about it. They ruined potential for anything up and coming.
Last Jedi went way too far and introduced a bunch of new ideas with Star Wars.
They weren't good.
Some of it was good. And I wish they would have kept the good stuff and brought it into Rise of Skywalker, but Rise of Skywalker had to erase a bunch of that and try to still feel nostalgic for the old ones because, like, the new trilogy had already destroyed so much. So they tried to bring it back, and they didn't make a movie. They just made a bunch of scenes.
It was just a fan pleaser.
Yeah,
literally,
exactly.
It was just a fan pleaser. And it did everything, like, to the letter that the fans wanted. Which was, we hated Last Jedi, so, just pretend it never happened.
Guys, here's Kylo Ren's helmet again. Be happy with us, please. It's just, like, stuff like that, where it's like, I don't care. I want to watch a good movie.
And you know what? You can have it either way. So if you wanted Kylo Ren to be bad, you can, watch the first half of the movie. If you wanted him to be good, watch the second half of the movie. If you want him to be bad again, then he does. Like, it just goes back and forth and back and forth.
And throughout
if you want him to die, he does.
Yeah.
If you want Rey to die, she does.
And
everybody dies and everybody lives.
And throughout the whole film, they cannot stick to anything. They kill Chewbacca off like 2 times somehow.
Ugh.
And they bring him back to life.
They killed Rey. They killed Kylo Ren.
And they bring him back to life.
They killed C-3PO.
And they bring him back to life real quick. Don't worry about that. We're not actually going to have any permanence in this film. Nothing sticks.
It was so bad.
It was really bad, but
man,
it was funny. It was so funny.
The Spice Runner.
Yeah, there's like this one random joke. Like,
that didn't make any sense. All of a sudden, Poe was trying to be the new Han Solo.
They literally just made him Han Solo.
Yeah, they completely forgot everything that Poe was before.
And for some reason...
Like, oh, he's bad. He's a spice runner, and he's, like, naughty and, like, rebellious, so...
For some
he's
reason...
basically Han Solo.
For some reason, they really tried to, like, make this the start of a new trilogy.
They did a bad job.
With the characters of, like, oh, this is introduced. Oh, here's this relationship. Oh... he's a spice runner now, and like he has a deep history, but this is the end.
That's what I said.
You're not.
I know. That's why I say they ruined the potential for anything up and coming because they tried to end it with, like you said, an introduction to the next saga, which I don't understand. Just end the saga. Just end it.
They won't. Now,
They're gonna keep going and keep bringing it back and keep diving it into the ground.
Star Wars is such a weird phenomenon. You cannot detach it from the original trilogy. You can't.
Well,
Because so many people love those films that
Well,
it's just
okay.
permanently attached.
I
and
get that.
you can't move on from there. So you just keep remaking the same Star Wars because that's what people want, but it's also what people hate. Star Wars makes no sense.
I know, and I think Star Wars fans are fans because they feel like they need to be. So they watch the movies as kids, and okay, as maybe a 4-year-old with half a brain, then you'd be like, this is awesome. But once you get older, then it's just nostalgic. You're like, oh, I loved this as a kid. And you're like, oh, it was great. I loved it. And now all the Star Wars fans like Star Wars because they have to.
A lot of, I don't know, I'm not gonna like go too deep into like the whole Star Wars fandom.
True.
Like, I'm not...
No hate to anyone who likes Star Wars. I know lots of people that do like Star Wars and they're great people. It's just,
sometimes
what do you like about the movie?
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't quite make too much sense.
Yeah. I don't know. I will say that Star Wars fans are fun to talk to because talk about someone who's passionate about something.
Oh, yeah.
Star Wars fans are so passionate.
And they're different every single time.
Yeah, and they like different movies for different reasons.
Yep.
And each one of them has a different
favorite.
Yeah. We should probably not talk only about movies we hate.
Yeah, probably. What's a good movie you've seen recently that you really liked? Also, what's a movie you're looking forward to seeing?
Like one that's coming out recently?
Yeah, something that's coming out soon.
I don't really
Or that you've heard about.
Oh, well, I mean, none of the movies that are coming out recently, I haven't been keeping up with trailers at all. So I don't really know exactly what's coming out. Basically, the only thing I know is Black Widow, which I actually am not looking forward to.
Me neither. It looks bland. I'm not going to say it is bland because I haven't seen it, but it looks bland.
What else? Oh, Tenet. It looks like a typical Christopher Nolan film.
You call it typical, but I will be dragging you to the midnight release.
Alright, well, ask me again after I watch it and see what I think.
Yeah,
But I'm just saying that I'm not necessarily looking forward to it. It's
That's
not
fair.
something I'm like, oh, I want to watch that.
That's fair. Christopher Nolan isn't always for everyone.
I do like Christopher Nolan films. I like Inception.
He's really competent in what he does. Like, there's no weak Nolan film. There's the Batman film coming out.
Oh, yeah.
That's coming out like 2021.
Not looking forward to it.
You're not?
Don't like Robert Pattinson.
I'm looking forward to it. It sounds really promising. Matt Reeves on board as director. We have Robert Pattinson as a young Batman, which, yeah, I can put two and two together with that. You know, that clicks for me.
He does look like Bruce Wayne. He does look like he'd make a Bruce Wayne, but he's just... I don't know. I haven't even seen the Twilight movies, but I remember very well when they came out and people were obsessed. So it makes me hate.
Yeah, as we were talking about before, when people like talk too much about one thing and it's all you hear, you do grow like hatred towards that. You just kind of do.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It makes you sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'm not really looking forward to any one film.
There
are a lot that I still have been recommended to me that I haven't watched.
There's a lot you need to catch up on.
Okay, so Metropolis, 1929. Puss in Boots was recommended to me. I still kind of want to watch Grand Budapest Hotel, but I don't know. I feel like I think there's some bad stuff in it. So
yeah,
I don't know if I will.
It's one of those movies where I'll watch it, but I'm gonna have somebody show it to me before I watch it on my own, probably. That way I have a fallback to say, this was garbage, why'd you make me watch this? Instead of having nobody to blame but myself.
Yeah, I don't know.
Have I recommended anything to you?
Yeah, Warrior.
Well, besides Warrior and Metropolis.
No, not really.
That's weird.
Sometimes I'll ask you, though, if you've seen any good movies lately, and lately you've been like, no. So, kind of
No movies that...
need to up your game.
Well, I mean, movies that I think are fine, but, you know, obviously we don't have the same taste.
Yeah, that's
Always.
true. That's true. That's true.
So, you know, maybe I like it, but you won't, so... I try to judge it as I go along, you know.
I just don't know where to start because usually I want to know that I'll love a movie before I watch it. That's just how I am, and
It's so strange to me.
I kind of wish that I wasn't that way. I wish I could just be like, I'm gonna watch that. Like, I'm bored. I'm just gonna watch this. But I can't. It takes me forever to decide what to watch, and sometimes I spend the whole time deciding, and I never watch anything.
I love taking leaps of faith with movies.
Oof. It's
Like-
a good risk. It's just I never want to take it. I don't know why. I don't know because I can always turn it off if I don't like it.
Yeah.
So what are you looking forward to besides Tenet
We have
and Green Knight?
Green Knight, previously stated. We have the Winter Soldier and the Falcon show. I at least want to try it.
Okay.
I have hope in that.
Okay.
Some hope. It's not much, but it's the one thing I'm clinging to for the future of Marvel.
I would like to see what they're gonna do
Yeah.
with Zemo because I really like Zemo.
Yeah, he's a great villain in Civil War.
Yeah.
We have that Last Night in Soho.
What's that?
That is the next Edgar Wright film.
What's that?
Really, like easily one of my favorite directors. He did Baby Driver. It's not.
No
It's
clue.
not gonna be for you. I'm probably gonna go watch it on my own, but really looking forward to that film. We have Dune, which is
Oh, I've heard of that. Based on a book, right?
based on a book.
Yeah.
It's Dennis.
That's a famous book.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's a lot to tackle, really. It's a well-known book. It's
Sci-fi?
yes. It's
Yeah.
sci-fi.
I've heard of it.
We've got a lot of big names, a lot of small names that are in some interesting films. Oscar Isaac is like one of the actors, but there's like the kid from Dunkirk. There's a lot of stuff like that where it's just kind of a mix. I'm seeing a lot of potential. The director is Dennis. I can't pronounce his last name. Villeneuve or something like that. He's done Prisoners, Arrival.
Oh, serious movies.
Yeah, like
Intense.
yeah, really intense films that are sci-fi dramas, pretty much, except for Prisoners. Prisoners wasn't. But he's done some pretty good stuff. I haven't seen all his films, but I know he's extremely competent behind the camera.
I almost read the book. I looked up like good sci-fi books, and it kept on coming up and coming up, and I just never got around to reading it. But I love the sci-fi genre, and I wanted to read a sci-fi book. I just didn't read that one. I read The Time Traveler.
Oh. You know what would be interesting? Is if you read it before it came out, and then we went to go see it.
Oh. Shall we do this challenge?
Maybe. We'll both read it.
I'm up for it.
Yeah, I'd read it.
Okay, let's do it.
All right.
Okay.
But I am definitely interested in that.
I don't
There's a
think-
lot of talent behind there.
It sounds interesting. So.
It shows promise. And it's not a lot that I'm familiar with. So similar to the Green Knight, I know that there is talent behind it, and it looks promising. I don't know much about it, but I'm willing to go in blindly to see if it's good.
Sometimes if you just like the feel of a movie, or you like the atmosphere, then you, I don't know, kind of have this inkling that you'll like it. So, who knows, maybe so. Well, we have lots to look forward to.
Yes, we do.
We're also looking forward to next week.
Yeah.
When we bring you a music episode.
Hopefully. I don't know. I damaged my finger the other day, so
Well,
one of my fingers is kind of injured, so
you can sing.
I kind of can. Yeah. Either way,
You have the ability to sing.
I do. Yeah.
So that'll be next week. If you liked this episode, let us know. Let us know what you would, if you want us to do anything else, or if you...
We'll be back week after next with a movie review, but if you want to hear more episodes like this where we're just kind of talking about state of movies and such, let us know.
Yeah.
We'll be happy to provide you with another one.
Or just let us know that you're listening. Any comments or criticisms are welcome. I liked doing this kind of episode. I thought it was interesting and fun.
I enjoyed it.
So check us out on our social media.
Yeah.
Instagram,
YouTube,
Twitter, Podbean,
kind of Twitter. We need to work on that.
iTunes. Yeah. Hey, well.
Yeah.
So
we'll see you there.
I'll see you next week on the Scabby Hayze Podcast with your co-host Maggie
and your co-host Pinj.
Bye-bye.
Bye.